By this point, every Naruto fan knows that Naruto Uzumaki has saved the world more times than he has actual children, with Naruto saving the world canonically 4 separate times, from Kaguya to Neri, Momoshiki, and Ishiki. But what if I told you he's not the only Naruto character who deserves credit for saving the ninja world at least one time, and that Konohamaru Sarutobi actually deserves some credit from fans when it comes to saving the ninja world itself? Now, I know the knee-jerk reaction is to automatically dunk on Konohamaru and call him fodder trash, especially if you watch Boruto's anime and saw each of the members of his team surpass him in power. But in today's Naruto Explained video, I actually wanted to dive into uncharted territory and explain to you guys why you should be looking at Konohamaru and giving him some of the credit for at least one world-saving event. So by this point, you're either laughing so hard you've already hit the like button, or you're triggered by the mere suggestion that you've already Rasengan the dislike button and screamed clickbait. There won't be any in between for this video, but for those of you guys who are still here and curious, allow me to explain why Konohamaru deserves some credit for saving the world here. During the Kaguya fight, while most of the world was trapped under the infinite Tsukuyomi, including Konohamaru Sarutobi himself, there was a moment where the hyperactive, knuckle-headed, unpredictable ninja known as Naruto Uzumaki actually borrowed something from Konohamaru to turn the tables against Kaguya, and had Naruto not done this, Naruto would not have defeated Kaguya. Remember that iconic scene where Naruto used his reverse harem jutsu and transformed all of his shadow clones into naked men, which in turn was enough to make both Sakura get a nosebleed at the sight of it and cause Kaguya to make a face that makes it clear that all those cobwebs that formed down there by her lady parts were suddenly a lot more moist than she'd ever experienced in many years. Not since that so fateful night with that random human feudal lord that banged Kaguya and left her with 2 twin children growing inside of her womb. Well, in the manga version of Naruto, we're told by Naruto that this was his super secret jutsu he's been practicing in secret, even more so than his own Rasengan. However, there's something we have to keep in mind that goes back to Konohamaru Sarutobi, which is the whole concept of using a reverse harem jutsu. It didn't start with Naruto. It actually started with Konohamaru, who was the first person who performed the harem jutsu before Naruto in the manga. That being said, if you've only watched the anime, you have no idea what it is I'm talking about. The reason being is that in Naruto Shippuden episode 90, it made a major scene that was adapted from the manga. Naruto comes out of the ramen shop after eating with Kakashi, Sakura, and Sai. He sees Konohamaru outside and he challenges him to a duel, where Konohamaru makes a shadow clone and performs the basic sexy jutsu. This, however, was not what we were given in the manga. In the Naruto manga, we get a completely different scene that the anime outright changes. In Naruto chapter 347, when Konohamaru challenges Naruto, he does the initial sexy jutsu that you saw in the anime, and after Naruto has the gag moment where he makes that goofy face and has the nosebleed, we see Sakura walk over and clobber Konohamaru with the punch to the gut, which the anime changed to Moegi hitting him in the face instead. So you might be thinking, where's the change outside of that? Well, immediately afterwards, Konohamaru, after being hit by Sakura, wastes no time in making another hand seal and creating another shadow clone, which then sees Konohamaru use the transformation jutsu on himself and on the clone to make the illusion of a fully nude Sasuke on top of Sai, also fully nude, and Sai has his hand touching the lips of Sasuke and caressing his face, who is also looking deeply into his eyes. While Naruto makes the disgusted face and Sai is asking if that's supposed to be himself and Sasuke, Sakura is shown making a goofy face and having a full-blown nosebleed, just like she did with the Kaguya fight. Sakura is then shown being at the center of everyone's attention when she speaks up after Naruto hits Konohamaru over the head to break the jutsu itself. Sakura doesn't call it a reverse sexy jutsu or even distasteful. She refers to it as being a quote fantasy jutsu end quote, and is shown blushing as she's clearly thinking about what she just saw, which leads to everyone looking at her sideways for her perverted moment. And Konohamaru has a wicked grin because he knows that the jutsu he used on Sakura worked, which is proving to her what he and Naruto had previously said about the sexy jutsu being the perfect distraction to be used in battle was absolutely true, despite the fact that Sakura called it an utterly useless jutsu. Up until this point in the manga, Naruto had never shown any idea to make this version of the sexy jutsu, and to be fair, neither did Konohamaru. He merely did it to troll Sakura to prove a point to her. However, when we see Naruto in the fight with Kaguya in Naruto volume 71, Naruto takes what Konohamaru did in Naruto volume 38 and he takes it a step further in typical Naruto fashion. He doesn't just make one pair of nude clones, he makes a total of 11 7 new clones to distract Kaguya, and in the process he ends up giving Sakura an even bigger nosebleed than she did when Konohamaru made the clones of Sai and Sasuke making out. It's not the sexiest use of ninjutsu except for in the literal sense, but it was definitely effective, and while the anime might make you be under the assumption that Naruto is the first one to pull off the reverse harem jutsu, it's actually Konohamaru, and in hindsight it was actually foreshadowing for the future events of the story, because we were told in Naruto volume 38 that Konohamaru and Naruto meet up to practice their sexy jutsu and the methods of deployment, and this would have been a jutsu they ended up going over sometime off screen. And as we were told in the manga, both of them believe that the stronger the enemy that they use the sexy jutsu on, the more effective it will be, because Naruto saw how effective it was against Sakura. Konohamaru might be a lot of things in the eyes of a lot of fans, but he does deserve some credit for making the jutsu and putting the idea in Naruto's head that this sexy jutsu doesn't have to just be transforming into nude women following each other and kissing each other in the manga, but it can also be used to transform into men. And while Naruto was clearly disgusted by what he saw, it was nevertheless effective, and when he was faced with a strong enemy like Kaguya, Naruto took that moment to test it out, because this was the first female enemy strong enough to even make him consider using that jutsu, and given the tough bind that they were in, they had to use this jutsu in order to create an opening. This is one of the many reasons I say if you've only watched the Naruto and Naruto Shippuden anime, or you've only played the Storm video games, you owe it to yourself as a fan to go back and reread the manga at least once, because this is just one of quite a few scenes that the anime either changed or outright cut out the story. You've got some smaller scenes like this, but there are also bigger scenes that the anime changed that you wouldn't be aware of unless you've actually read the manga. Now you might be asking, why was this scene changed in the anime? And while we don't have an official answer per se, there is enough information available to actually draw a conclusion as to what happened. Naruto's manga included quite a few scenes of gag humor and scenes like Shikamaru smoking after Asuma died that weren't shown in the anime, whereas the manga was able to publish these scenes in Weekly Shonen Jump in printed format. In the manga, we've seen the sexy jutsu be used, and you see a lot more nudity than you actually see in the anime, where there's more smoke than normal, whereas in the manga, you see enough of Naruto's shadow clone's boobs that you can almost see an entire nipple. The same with the bathhouse scene where Naruto first meets Jiraiya. You got whole butt cheeks of women being shown and entire breast cleavage being shown with just enough steam that you can't quite see the nipples, which the anime covers up with more smoke than you see in the manga. The reason for these changes is, yes, Shonen Jump does get away with more in a printed format, always has for many years, especially if you like compare what you saw with the Dragon Ball manga with what you saw with Dragon Ball's anime, even though Dragon Ball's anime got away with a lot more stuff just because times were different back then. The other reason is that despite both Naruto's anime airing at night in Japan around the later primetime hours for Naruto and Naruto Shippuden during the weekday, there was still a higher level of censorship that Studio Pierrot had to follow in order to meet the guidelines of TV Tokyo, the station where those episodes aired. Even to this day, when you look at a series like Chainsaw Man or Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Arc and Hell's Paradise, but they all air late at night, and it's because of that there's a lot less censorship. Whereas Naruto and Naruto Shippuden aired at 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Hell's Paradise airs at 11 p.m. in Japan. Chainsaw Man aired at 12 midnight in Japan. Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Arc Core 1 aired at 2 a.m. in Japan. Due to that, there was a lot less censorship, which allowed for more blood and sexually suggestive themes to be aired on television for anime episodes that adapted the manga. That's more than likely the true reason why this scene was cut out the anime adaptation when Shippuden got to this part of the story, because of the time slot that the anime itself aired and because of the nature of the poses that Konohamaru's clones took with Sasuke and Sai. However, our boy Konohamaru does deserve more credit, because there's no guarantee that had Naruto never seen this jutsu, he would have ever thought to make this version of the sexy jutsu. So in a way, you can say that Konohamaru actually saved the ninja world. If you enjoyed this Naruto Explained video, make sure to check out these other videos you see on the screen right now.